Right, so this is the second part of writing our cow versus butcher game. Last time what we did was the intro or the boot state, where we just show the logo, and then we have a preloader, which is just a simple loading page. So let's run the game to see if something, if everything works. So this was the logo, this is the loading screen, and now we've set it to repeat and start over. So what we want to do now is go to the main menu, which is just gonna have simple buttons, play and quit, the name of the game, couple of souls, some blood that we've written last time, and the thing that we have to add now is the cow and the butcher, and we're not gonna add them all because there is a lot of code to them. We'll just add the animations and place them where they need to be, and this will be it for the state. Hopefully, if there is enough time, we'll start on the levels. Just backgrounds. Let me just show you those. So stuff like backgrounds, parallaxing backgrounds, the souls, the bird, trees, ground, rocks, grass as well. Inside here, this is a bit simpler, so I think we'll start with this one since it doesn't have that many elements to it. But yeah, that's pretty much the plan for today. Next time we'll be doing the cow and the butcher, since they have they're big classes, especially the butcher one, because he has to die in so many ways, and there is always some weird logic to it. Next time we'll also add the buttons with the labels. I've added another button which is not here for the GMO cow, but you'll see that probably next time, or the one after that. Right, so let's get started. Let's get into the preloader and probably start the other state, which is going to be menu. And let's start writing the menu. So just to show you once again, in the menu we have 3 souls, we have a label with the name of the game, we have a cow, a butcher, and 2 buttons. And this is what we'll be doing now. Right, so let me zoom in. And let's start writing. So first up, I am gonna need the 3 souls. So soul 1 is gonna be phaser.sprite. Soul 2 is going to be phaser.sprite as well, or I can just copy the line with Control D and just change it here. What else do we need? We are going to also need a group, so soul group phaser.group. Technically we are not going to need, what is the problem here? Duplicate identifier soul 2. Weird. That should be fine in a second. Normally we would need a group with this specific state, but I am gonna use one, just to get you into the into the mood of using groups, because they're a bit weird, but you have to use them, I think, in every game, which is more complicated, where you need to have layers of sprites, and you have to order them in some way. So we'll just introduce it here, and once we get to the levels, you will see how they work and what's their place in the code. Right, so in the create we would like to have this .game.add image, and this is going to be again main screen. Alright, let's create some buttons. So var play button equals this.game.add button, and this is going to be this.game.width times 0.5, comma this.game.height times 0.55. So slightly bit lower than the middle of the screen. What do we need after that? So I'm gonna say play button dot priority dot input dot priority ID equals 1. And what does that mean? So normally, and we cannot find that priority ID. Yes. So in the end, we will be clicking on the screen, and once we click on the screen, something is going to happen to the cow as well. So in order to know where we've clicked, whether it's on a button or the screen, we have to give priority IDs. It's like ordering the buttons on the screen. So I'll show you something here. So it's like depth ordering of the screen. So if I don't give this, and let's say that I have a button here, and then I can also click on the whole background. So I can click anywhere inside here, and also on the buttons and on the second one as well. So what's gonna happen once I click on this button, Phaser is gonna detect a touch both on the button and on the background, right? Because you are just clicking on the screen, you are clicking on both sprites, if you want to think of it this way. So in order to fix that, you have to give priority ID. So in this case, let's say that I have some input on my background. If it has priority ID of 1 or like 2, which is going to be higher than 1, then I'll only be able to click on the background. If I order them differently, where the background has like a layer of 0, and so let's just change color. If this one has a layer of 0 and these ones have a layer of 1, then I'll be able to click on the button, and it's going to detect only that input. So yeah, this is as well as I could explain it. Is anyone confused? No, I think it's fine. It's just like ordering the buttons in layers, like similar to Photoshop as well. So what else do we need to do here? So let's set the anchor. So play button dot anchor dot set 0.5, and let's create another one. Var quit button equals this dot game dot add button, and this dot game dot width times 0.5, this dot game dot height times 0.8. Okay, so a couple of things that I missed here. We are gonna have also a string. I don't know if you can see that. So x and y string key. Then we have a function with a callback and the callback context. Everything else we are not going to use at this point. You can also do, if you want to, if you have like different buttons for in, for out, for clicked, for over, you can put them all here. And you have a button which is like very easy, very quick to do if you have the different sprites. But since we have only like a single one, then the only thing that I need to give is now some text and the function that's gonna execute. So let's do that. So for the first button, we are gonna take play button as key, and this play button comes from the preloader state, where we preload the buttons. So these are the buttons. So we have play button and quit button. So this is where I load them from. The images you will see in a second when I put them in the game. So this is going to be play button, and I want to have a function which is going to be this dot start game. Let's put this on a new line. This dot start game, and the context is this. So the callback context is something weird, but you normally always put this, and it should work. And then if you're in some weird situation, then you may have to give the context from where the function is called, which happens very rarely. So I had this in the in one of the cow states. In one of the states of the cow game, but then I refactored the code, and it turned out that I don't need to do it this way, and I was putting this, everywhere when it says like context. If you're wondering what that thing is here, normally it's just put this. and it's gonna work. And this is a method that we write a bit later. So this sorry, it's gonna be start game, and we are gonna leave it empty. So let's add the next button. So the next button was times 0.8, so slightly lower. The image is quit button, and this dot exit game, and the callback the context is this, and I'm gonna make the method here. So quit button this way. Sorry, exit game. Exit game. Come on, shift, please work. Yeah. All right, and similar thing we have to do with the quit button as well. So quit button. My shift is not working. Quit button dot input dot priority ID equals 1, and quit button dot anchor dot set. We want to set it at 0.5, which is going to set it both for the X and the Y, as we've discussed last time. Did I tell you that between this and this there is no difference whatsoever? So I can just leave it as is this way. Alright, so what else are we gonna need? So let's first see what's happening here, what we have here. To do that a bit quicker, I would make this a second, so that we can start probably quicker and easier. And we already have this. So we have the play button, the quit button. Where did that come from? Oh yeah, this is from the background image. So I put it there, and it's already done. So actually, let's take a look and see the image, which was in graphic utils. No, it's in graphics. It's in boot, and here I have the play button, the quit button, and the main screen, which already has, you know, the label. But I could have easily done it with the text as well, and normally, as I mentioned earlier, it would be better if you do it just with text inside Phaser instead of just a picture like this. Okay, so we have buttons, and we can click them. If you see the cursor changes, but nothing is gonna happen because I didn't put any function to them. So let me put one now, just for the exit, which is sorry, it's in menu. So let's put here, I think it was this dot game dot exit. No, I need to check that. Just give me a second. This dot game dot destroy is the method, and let's see. Let's run it again. Quit, and then it just stops the game. So yeah, we have that now. And what is it that we want to do if we hit the play? We want to say this dot game dot state dot start, and we want to say game. This is the state that we haven't started at all, but I hope that we are going to start that today. So yeah, let's go into the menu as well. Let's test it to see what's happened, whether we get some errors or not. No, you know, it's just a blank screen because we don't have anything in the game state. Right, so let's add some souls, I guess. So let's go in here and say actually the source first, or the, I don't know. Let's do the source first. So this dot so1 equals this dot game dot add image. It has to be a sprite, but I'll just change it here. So this is gonna be phaser.image. If you're wondering what the difference is, well, I think they're very similar, but sprites can have physics and body and so on. I think images cannot. So if you just want to place an image and say as we want to do now, just rotate it, then this is the way to go. Just with an image, because if you create a sprite and it has more properties, you would normally take more memory than needed. Question or no? Okay. So where do we want to add the first tool? So 230, 100, and the key is gonna be bloody soul, and I guess this is the scale, but I'm not sure, so let's just do that. This dot so1 dot scale equals 0.3. Let's add the other ones as well, so I can select those two, Control C, and let's change that to Sol2. And what we are gonna change here is this one is gonna be bloodier soul, and it's gonna be placed at 1130, 230, and scale is 0.4. Sorry? I added an extra 0, yes I did. Type number is not assignable to point dot scale dot set, and is this gonna work? Yeah, okay, so I'll have to change this one as well. Set, and then 0.3 and 0.4. So let's select those two again. I do it with Alt and Shift, Control C, and Control V. Let's do the third one. So the third one is 3, scale set to, I think the scale of the last one is quite big, it's 0.9, and it's placed at 50 and 670, I think. Right, so let's see what's happening. They are placed weirdly. Refresh is not going to do it, I think. Maybe I didn't set the anchor to 0.5, 0.5, so I am going to do that as well now. So this dot so1 equals, this dot so1 dot anchor dot set 0.5, Control C, Control V, Control V, and then I have to change that here. So 2 dot anchor, so 3 dot anchor, and let's check if we have any progress. We don't. Yeah, now they're placed where we want them to be. So if you look at here, we have one at the very bottom left of the page. This was the last one. Then we have the first one and the second one, so they're like at the corners of our label. Right, so let's make them rotate. So this has to be done in the update, and this is the only reason why I put them as properties of this class, so that I can access them from different methods. So let's do that. This dot so1 dot rotation plus equals 0.4. This dot so2 dot rotation minus equals 0.05. This dot so3 dot rotation plus equals 0.02. Alright, let's have a look. This one is quite heavily spinning. Maybe I didn't put a 0 here. This is why I know this is going crazy here. But yeah, so let's check it now. So this one is faster, this one is slower, and this one, being the biggest one, is slightly slower than the rest. If you have any suggestions or you want to see something else, just let me know. We just need to change a couple of values, and that's that. If you don't, I would like to keep going. Is there anything else here? Oh yes, actually we have to do some blood here. So if you see it here, we have some blood. here and here, which are falling on top of the cow and the butcher. So let's do that as well. But we already have our blood emitter class, which was in here. So let's just do that. Let's just create a couple of emitters. So var blood emitter equals new blood emitter, and this is going to be this dot game 50 100 sorry 1000, and those were the width and the gravity of the emitter. Also, what we need to do here is add the reference to this class, because we don't have it to this file. So alt enter and generate reference path in comment, and wait a second, and now we have it up here. Right, so we've created it. I want to change a couple of things. So blood emitter dot emitter.x equals this dot game dot width times 0.18, blood emitter dot y equals this dot game dot height times 0.18, and blood emitter dot start. And let's see what we have here. So we have the explode, which is false. We have lifespan, which is 2000. I can make it less, possibly. Frequency 0, and then we have quantity 5000, false. Actually, these values are a bit too large, so I would probably make a small change here. If it doesn't look well, I'll just change it back. So since the second one is very similar, and the only thing that we need to do is, I think, change the place. So I'll just copy and paste it, and everywhere where I see blood emitter, this is done with alt J. I'll just put blood emitter 2, and this is gonna be okay. So same value here. This is times 0.88. This is times 0.4. And these values are the same. So let's have a look at what's happening. And now we have blood, and it looks fine, but you know, everything is sort of like the blood is on top of the soul, which is something that we didn't want. So there were two ways to fix this, and I'll show you both of them. So the first one is just to draw the souls. Just bring them here after the emitters, and that's probably gonna work. Yeah, that works fine now. But what happens if you have to generate some images, as we are going to be doing with some butchers and you know, backgrounds and so on? What happens if you need to generate them on the spot, right? They would appear in front of everything else, and maybe this is something that you don't want to do, right? You may want to have control over which thing appears where. So instead of doing that, I promised to show you groups and how they work. So I'll bring that back, and I would like to add each soul to my phaser group. So let's do that here after we've created them. So this dot soul group equals this dot game dot add group, and after that we just want to say this dot soul group dot add, I think, add multiple. Yes, and here I have to give them as just as an array. Yeah, thank you. So this dot soul 1, this dot soul 2, this dot soul 3. Okay, and now if you see, it's still gonna be the same. I mean, the blood is gonna be just on top, but then I have control on which one appears where. So in here I can say this dot game dot world, which is the main group that has all groups and sprites in it. So this is a group, And in here I can say dot bring to top, and I can say this dot saw group. All right, and now they should be on top of everything else. Yeah, and if you want to see that again, maybe I can do it. Let's do it in here. Sorry, Control slash, and I'll do this only if I have clicked on the play button so that you can see the change straight there. Maybe refresh again. This is slightly, oh yeah, I didn't, yeah, I had to comment that for it to work. Sometimes you need to refresh a couple of times. Alright, and now when I click, and oh yeah, I have to click here, and now you see how it's back. So normally you would have to have things in groups, like all of your sprites and characters and so on. For the cow specifically, I have a group which is called top group, and I put everything in there, like buttons, UI, and stuff like that, which always need to be on top. Also, I think the cow is there, but I'm not sure. And as soon as I spawn a new item, which would normally go above all of them, then I have to say to the top group to be, bring to top, and it's gonna be always drawn above the other thing. So something in here that is drawn this way is, let's say, the tree. Okay, so this one you don't need it to be in front of everything else, and they spawn after, let's say, a random of 2 to 5 seconds, with a random scale and so on. But if this one appeared in front of the cow as a part of the background, it wouldn't be nice. But it also generates after every 2 or 3 seconds, so it's on top of everything else, right? So as soon as you spawn something, you have to bring everything else, at the top. There is another method that I'm using as well, which I was searching for quite a while, and I didn't know if it was gonna work at all. You can add a sprite at a specific position, like a Z index in the CSS, if someone knows that. But yeah, so you can do it both ways, depending on how many sprites you want to have. All right, any questions so far? Everything is fine? Right, so now we need to make a cow, which is going to be in game objects. And TypeScript file, we're going to call this cow, and let me zoom in. Alright, so we need to have module, cow versus butcher, export. First, before the class, I would like to have an enumeration of the states of the cow, because I'll use those later. So using states, it's sort of similar to what we did with the Monopoly game, but instead of having states for the game itself, we have states for the object, in this case the cow. And this saves us a lot of work with if and else statements and so on. It's a lot easier to work with states in general. So export enum cow states, and the different states that we are going to have: idle, those are capitals; running, jumping, double jumping, double jumping, picking item, throwing item, GMO, throwing butcher. I don't know if this one I ever used, but we'll see. Barbecue burn and electrified. Right, there's something that... Oh yeah, everything is fine. Let me zoom in a bit more. Right, so these are the states that we are gonna have. I have not done this and this, but they're fairly easily done. and I don't think I'm using this, so if in the end we don't have to, I'll just delete it from here. Alright, so let's create the cow. So export class cow. The cow is gonna have game, which is phaser.game. We are gonna have states, phaser.sprite, and states2, which is phaser.sprite as well. I'll tell you what those are in a second. We're gonna have a current state, which is cow states, and here I have ammo, grenades count, knives, but I decided to split the logic and leave those for the button. So the button is gonna know how many knives we have, how much ammo we have, and so on. The cow doesn't need to know that. Alright, then we have constructor, which is gonna be game phaser.game. This dot game equals game. This dot current state equals cow states dot idle. And what else do we have? I don't have a reference, but why do you not see this? Cannot find name cow states, because it's just cow state here, so I'll just change it here. And we have to add the path to phaser, so in here. And now everything should be fine. Alright, what else do we have? So states phaser.sprite, this is gonna be all of the animations that we are gonna hold. Since the names of the animations are pretty much the same as the states of the cow, then I just decided to call this, states. If you think of a better word for it, animations is not gonna work, because then I have to say this.cow.animations.animations twice. So I couldn't come up with something better, so I think states is fine. You may wonder why I have states too, because we didn't have enough space for all of the sprites of the animations of the cow in a single file, so I ended up doing a second variable here. Does anyone have a better solution? I was looking for that in Google and the forums, but I couldn't find one. Can you add animations to a sprite from a different file? Is the problem that I had. But then again, I couldn't find anything. If you stumble upon this problem, if you have large files and so on, then let me know and I'll fix it in the code. Alright, so what we are gonna be having here is this dot states equals this dot game dot add dot sprite 200 300 cow, and right, so this is gonna be the this key cow corresponds to in the preloader. If I search for cow, maybe it's gonna appear a couple of times or not. Actually it was in the boot, I think. Yeah, this is it. So this cow is actually an atlas. It's not a sprite, but this is how you load it. It's nothing special. So let's get back in here. Now I have to add all of the animations of the cow, and since this is gonna take probably about 20 minutes, I just created a copy somewhere around here, which is this. So a lot of animations. So let's explain what those are. So inside the graphics game cow, inside here we have a JSON file which I showed you last time. So inside here I went through all of these here, and I was looking through so how many sprites do I have for the burning animation. Then I added all of them inside the cow here. So from 0 to 8, total of 9 frames. and then I said that the speed is going to be 30 FPS, and then I did that for all of the animations. I think there might be a better way, but this one is fine as well. It worked. And now if I put this cow inside the menu state, you will see you can see the different animations here. But first, let's make a method inside here, which is going to be called change animation repeating key string. Just a simple way to change between animations. So this dot states dot animations dot play key null true. So when you play an animation, you have a couple of things. Sorry, this was Control Shift Space. First, you have a name, which is going to be the key that we are giving. Loop, frame rate. We've already given a frame rate of 30, so I don't have to specify it here as well. And especially if those animations have a different frame rate, then you definitely have to leave null here, because otherwise you are going to override the value that you've added inside the animation. And then we have loop, which I want it to loop so that you can see it better. What's going to happen. And actually inside menu we can make a method which is just going to loop through all of the animations, but let's do that after the break. Right, so we had a couple of questions in the break, and I would ask the guys to ask them again. So what was your question?
How to make the button stay,
How to make a button stay at the same place, independent of whether the camera is moving or not. So you may need to have a button which is placed at a very specific position, and you want it to not change according to the camera of the game. And this is the answer. My sprite fixed to camera equals to true. It took me just very little bit to find it on Google. And there were other questions. So there was one question whether you can make super accurate collisions with sprites and so on. So there are different physics engines inside phaser. So let me go and explain you that. I think I mentioned that in the first lecture, but I didn't go into such details. So the one that we'll be using is arcade physics. It has quite a few things. It's really good and so on, but it only supports a single body sprite, which is what handles the collisions, and you cannot add a second one, and it cannot be different from a rectangle. I think it can only be a rectangle. The other two ones are P2 physics, which is included in phaser, which has different things inside. Maybe this one can show us some body debugs. Yeah, so you can do that definitely with a P2, like fairly accurate. Can I move something? Oh, it just says. Can we see the source code? Yes. I don't know. var bodies equals game.physics p2 hit test. I don't see a huge code here which says go from this point to this point. It just makes a yes. What about it? Can you tell me which line it is? I can't see it. 31. So this just enables physics, and below here the way you make the bodies is just with a simple line of code. Instead of having to do go from this point to this point and make a circle here, a rectangle there, it just does it automatically for you, which is kind of cool. I didn't know this as I was not using. So it does behave fairly well. I think the bunny is quite well done with this test. And the other one, which is box 2, which I think is paid, box 2D. This one, it has even more cool things inside. That domino tower. I cannot click anywhere, and I have no idea what this demo is about. Yeah, anyways, so yeah, you can get this as well. It's also very powerful, but I think this one is paid and the P2 one is included in Phaser. And there was one more question that I cannot recall. What was that about? I answered it just now. Okay. Right then, so let's get back to the menu. So let's go to menu. I wonder what this is. Oh yeah, quit button dot nothing. Yeah. So yeah, we're already here, and I want to add the cow. So this is going to be down here, and it's going to be var cow equals new cow. Actually, first, before we get the error, let me just copy it here somewhere. So maybe here. This is gonna be game object slash cow.js. And let's go into the menu again. So new cow, and create a reference path in comments with Alt Enter. And the only thing that we need to give here is this .game. And let's add a couple of properties. So cow.states.position.set is going to be 250 500. Cow.states.scale.set 1.4. Cow.states.body.immovable. So right now I don't need to write these lines of code for the body of the cow, since I have not enabled physics. But once we do enable physics on the cow, then our cow is just gonna fall down, right? Because in this specific state, you know, there'll be no platforms and so on. So I'll write them here, and I'll probably comment them, and I'll uncomment them once we make the whole cow itself. So this.cow.immovable equals true, and this has to be combined with body.immovable. Didn't I write this? Immovable, and cow.states.body.moves equals false. So I can never guess which one of these is gonna do the job, so I always use them both. If you have to reset them, you have to of course say here false and here true, which happens when the cow becomes a GMO cow, like a super cow. Alright, and then we want to say cow.change. Actually, I don't need this since I've already put the cow in a actually I haven't done that. So yeah, let's use it here. So I'm gonna say cow dot change animation, repeating, and it's very weird that we don't get auto complete on this one. So let me try again. Cow dot change. I think I do have a reference for the cow. There it is. I have no idea. Change animation, repeating, and inside I would just like to say idle. And hopefully, yeah, it found it, but I don't know what's happening. Right, so I'll just comment on these because right now I should expect to get an error. I'm not sure. We'll see. So I got an error, and it's probably because that I don't have immovable of null because I haven't enabled physics of my cow yet. So let's just comment on these two lines with control slash, and we'll uncomment them once we do the cow. So someone has to remind me, I think. And the cow is nowhere to be seen. Give me a second to fix that. Right, so the problem was that my sprite sheet is quite big, and in order to get the cow into the camera into the game, I have to say cow.states.anchor.set at 0.5. So what happened was, and if you have big animations with sprite sheet, you would probably get something similar. So imagine that this is the game, and actually my cow sprite is a lot bigger than my game. So I would imagine that the cow is drawn somewhere here outside of the game, and to fix that I would just set the anchor to 0.5. So the cow is going to be displayed in the middle of the huge sprite, and then I can place it wherever I want. So yeah, this is a problem that I had, but it's easily fixed this way. Right, so I promised that we would do something with clicking and seeing all of the animations one after the other. So let's just do that. So I would need, basically what I would need to do is, how should I do this? Maybe have an array with all of the strings of the animations, and on click change the animation. We'll see. A bit of improv. So what I want to do now is Alt J here, maybe with Control Shift this is gonna happen. Yes, Control C, and now I would like to go into menu and probably create an array here. So animations array, array of sprite, and inside here I would say to do delete this line below. Alright, so I would like to phaser array of phaser.sprite has to be here. Okay, so let's initialize it down here. Actually, I want to uncomment this line and delete it here, which was bringing the souls on top. So inside here, I would like to say this dot animations array equals, and I didn't copy them, or I replaced it already. So Control C, menu. Okay, and now here, everywhere at the end, I have to give no, this is not going to do it. Oh, anyways, I'll do this by hand. Actually, up here, I have to say array of string. I don't know why I did that. Alright, and we would like to have something like a counter as well. So let's do that as well in here. So animations counter number, which is going to be at 0. Animations counter equals 0, and I want to say this dot game dot input dot how's that, events, no, this dot game events. I have to look for that. I don't remember how. Sorry, input dot on down, thanks, dot add, and inside here I have to say listener and context. So let's make an anonymous function, which is gonna be cow dot change animation repeating of this dot animations array of animations counter, and after that I would like to say this dot animations counter plus plus animations counter plus plus, and hopefully that's gonna work. I don't know. Let's try. Okay, so this is the burning animation. This is the double jump. This is electrified cow. This is the GMO cow, like the super cow idle. This is a single jump. This is the running, which you will see a lot. This is how it shoots with the gun. It's really cool, that one. Throwing knives. And so you see that no knives are thrown right now. So after this animation is played, we would have to create a knife with its own, you know, collision and body, and then we have to rotate it and so on. But we have to place it at this specific place at the end of the animation so that no one can tell that these are two different things. This is the grenade. We have to do the same thing for the grenade as well. This is the change from a standard cow to a GMO cow, and those are all of them. Okay. I think these are really nice, but yeah. So alright, I will delete now all of that I've written. You saw all of the animations, so no reason to keep this code in here. Okay, let's do the same thing for the butcher. So new TypeScript file, butcher. So the next 20 minutes of the lecture will be pretty similar to the previous 20, so but yeah, bear in mind. Okay, so in the index.html I would like to say game objects butcher.js, and let's create something very similar. So let me zoom in. This is gonna be module cow versus butcher, export, and I'll try to type quicker without too many explanations. Idle, running, then we have picking. We don't have this one. We have shotgun, death, grenade, death, knife. A lot of ways to die. Knife, death, thrown by GMO. So yeah, I think those are all of them. There aren't too many, but a lot of ways to die for the butcher. Alright, then we have export class butcher, game phaser.game, states phaser.sprite, states 2, which is phaser.sprite as well, for the absolutely same reason as before. Okay, then we have velocity, which is number. We can spawn him with different velocity. Let me add the reference. I have a typo somewhere. Where? Sorry? Velocity. Okay. Velocity. Then we have is dead, which is going to be boolean. Actually, I'm not even using this one, so I'm not going to do that. We have current state, which is of type butcher states, and should throw blood. I think I removed this one as well, but I'm not sure. I'll add it just in case. Should throw blood boolean. Alright, constructor. We have inside, we have of course game phaser.game, and we have velocity. Inside here, this dot game equals game, this dot velocity equals velocity, and this dot is dead equals false. I'm not sure if I'm using this one, probably not the way I think of it, so I'll just delete that. Then we have this dot should throw blood equals false, which I'm not sure as well. Actually, I think I rewrote the code, so now I don't need those. I have to check tomorrow with my own code. So this dot current state equals butcher states dot running. He'll be running by default, but we are gonna play him with the idle animation. And of course we have to say this dot state equals this dot game dot add dot sprite, and this specific place butcher, which is again an atlas. And now I have to do the same thing with the animations that I did right here. So all of these. And again, you know, just a couple of frames. I have some for this dot states too. You know, I have to add the sprite again, you know, with different animations, but we'll do that once we get there a bit later. For now, we don't need it at all. Alright, so let's go into menu, and just to check something, yeah, everything's fine. So let's go into menu, and inside here we would like to do something similar to the cow. So var butcher equals new butcher. This dot game velocity 0. We are not using it anywhere now, but later on we will, and it has to be 0, otherwise he will be moving from right to left. I have to add the reference, of course. Alt enter, generate reference path, and now butcher dot state dot position dot set 600. After that we have butcher dot state dot scale dot set, and I want to say minus 1.4 1.4. Now you may be wondering why I have this minus. Can anyone guess? Yes, I have to switch the sprite. So right now my butcher is facing right, and I want him to be facing left. So I have to do a scale in the negative direction, which is gonna be flipping it this way. If I flip by the X, it's gonna flip him this way. If I flip by Y, it's gonna be the other way around. But yeah, anyways, I'm sure you probably know what I'm talking about. So what else do I need to do? So butcher dot states dot animations dot play animations dot play, and we're gonna say idle null true, and this is gonna be, yeah, I have the same thing. So butcher dot states dot body dot immovable equals true, butcher dot states dot body dot moves equals false. And I'll comment on these again, and I would guess that we are not gonna see the butcher, but let's just make sure just in case. Yep, he's not here, so I have to again set the anchor to 0.50.5. So normally I do this in the class itself, but since this is a very stripped down version of both classes, I would have to do it here in the menu. So let's do that. Inside here, maybe butcher dot state dot anchor dot set 0.50.5, and actually I would like to leave a comment to do comment the line below. Copy that and put it in here as well, and I would like to copy that. I already did, and here uncomment the lines below and uncomment the lines below. So this is now very easy. I think you even have within WebStorm to-do lists. If you search them, and it's going to take you to the places. So I'm just leaving notes for myself on what I have to add. Okay, let's see where we at with our main menu. I think this looks relatively okay. Right. What do you think? I actually think I have the blood on top of the cow and the butcher. So you think this is better? So yeah, the blood is stopped. Not anymore. So let's change those as they were. So explode. So lifespan is 1,000. That's fine. But here I can put 5,000 for both emitters. So which one do you think is better? Is it this one where it's behind them, or the other one where it's in front of them, which is seen here? Behind, you sure?
Maybe one should be behind, the other one.
Okay, which one do you want it to be in front, and which one do you want it to be behind?
The butcher in front.
On the butcher in front of it. Okay. So this one I would put right after the butcher. And now it didn't work because we don't know. Actually, I don't know. Let me stop this for a second, and I guess I'll find it out. A simple refresh fixed it, so yeah, I didn't do anything at all, I just refreshed. Alright, so this is gonna be our menu. What do you think? Yeah, good. Okay, let's start with the level, I think, and we're gonna have a break in about probably 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Alright, so let's now actually start game. And contrary to what you may think, I'm not gonna be writing anything in game right now. So what I want to do first is what is it that I want to do first? Okay, so first I would like to create my levels. So yeah, let me just explain what the idea is. So every level, so let's look at both of these. So every level has some elements that are repeating. Can you tell me what those are? So looking at this one and this one. So first of all, we have a floor, which is moving. The floor has physics in it. Okay, something else? The buttons, clearly. But I can add those. I can add those in the game states. They don't need anything like big separate to be done. So we have a floor which has physics. We have also souls on the left, which are the same as well. And what else do we have which is the same? Sorry? The background is different on both. But yes, we do have a background which is just a different sprite. So my idea for sort of an abstraction was to have an abstract class, in JavaScript as much as that is possible. Actually, TypeScript in the version that they announced, I think either a week ago or 2 weeks ago, there is actually an implementation of abstract classes, but we're not going to use them here. But just so that you know. Okay, so I am going to have an abstract class which is going to be called level, and I am going to have two subclasses which are going to be I don't remember what they were. Slaughterhouse, which is going to be actually called level 1, and we have outdoors, which is just going to be called level 2. If I don't have that, I will have to repeat a lot of code, right? Repeating the the backgrounds, collisions, physics, and so on. And also in my game itself, I would have to check which method to call. Do I have to call the update for level 1 or for level 2? it's gonna be a lot of unnecessary code there. So let's have this abstraction, and also I would like to have something which I am gonna call killer collection. So inside we are gonna have emitters, source, everything that we need to be on top, you know, of everything else. It's like a group, but with different things, with its own update methods and so on, so that I don't have to create it for, you know, both levels, and also that I can control everything that happens inside from the class itself. So to do that, I think I start first with the killer collection. Let me check very quick. Yeah, so first I start with that, and to do that we need to create a couple of classes. So just give me 1 second to find. Okay, so first we are going to create a class saw, which is probably going to be the first a bit more complicated thing in this code. So what we want to do is to have a saw. You already know how that is done, but in fact I actually want to have 3 saws, depending on the state that the saw is in. So if something has gone through it, I want to change the picture. I want to be able to change it from the default one to a bloodier one, and to the more bloody one inside the this class as well. And I want to be able to control this with you know, a simple method. So first of all, let's say that this burst goes into the saw. I would like to make this saw bloodier. So let me just type somehow. Let's make it blue. So this one is gonna be bloodier. I'll just type plus, and I would like it, you know, just as like a little bit of blood has fallen down here, and this one just has a little blood on it as well. And what I want to do after that is, you know, set a duration timeout for which this is gonna happen. So after say 5 seconds, this changes to less bloodier one, and this one changes to a default one as well. So it's like, you know, different states for the souls depending on if something has crashed in them. If something has crashed, they become bloodier and bloodier, and if some time has passed where nothing has happened, they have to go back to their, you know, previous step, depending on which one that was. Is it clear what we want to do? Yeah. So this one is was a bit more complicated. I did it fairly recently, and hopefully everything is gonna work like a charm right now. So it's gonna be a while before we actually get to see it, because first we have to create the source, we have to create the killer collection class, then we have to create the levels abstract class, and then the first level, in order to see you know, the whole abstraction that is going on. So a lot of code to be written before you can actually see anything, but I'll try to test it somehow. We'll see. Probably I'll create a saw in the game at some point. So this is going to be called saw. File already exists. I created it, but I didn't do anything in it. So let me first copy down this line, the reference. Yeah, I think I started to do it last time, but I didn't, since we could get away with you know, just using the images in the preloader and the boot. Okay, export class saw game phaser game. Then we would like to have 3 images. So one is going to be default image, phaser.image. Then we would like to have bloody image, phaser.image. If I want to, at a later stage, I can change those to sprites if I decide that I need to have physics, and that's not going to change much of the code at all. Bloodier image, phaser image. And now the next thing is a bit tricky. I would like to create my own event, which is gonna, you know, do something every couple of seconds. And in order to find this, it took me a while, but it's very logical and easy to use. So I would like to have a phaser dot timer event, which is gonna, you know, do the changing of the animations. Alright, so let's have a constructor. Okay, and inside I would like to take game, phaser.game, default key, string, bloody key, string, bloodier key, actually comma, enter, bloodier key. What else do I have? X number, this is a string as well, X number, Y number, scale number, and I would like to have group inside here, phaser.group. So the souls is one of the things that will almost always be on top. So as soon as I create them, I would like to be able to add them in a group, and this is why I have this, you know, group right in here, because in the class itself, in the constructor itself, I would like to be able to tell, well, add this soul to this group, which is always going to be on top, and it's not even an optional one, because the other question that you may ask is, why do I have these keys given in here as well? The reason is, well, what happens if later on I want to add different levels with different souls? If I have to hard code them here and not give them from the constructor, I would have to rewrite the logic and or make a new class and so on. This way, if I decide to add different souls, maybe for the different levels and so on, I can do that easily here and keep the same logic as is. Okay, this.game equals game. This.default image equals this.game.add sprite. Here says, I don't know, I'll just say add image, and we'll see if that's going to work. So xy default key 0 and then group, and if you want to know, the image has an optional parameter which is group as well, so I can do that here. I don't have to add it manually. Okay, and I want to do a couple of things here. This dot default image dot anchor dot set 0.5 0.5, and this dot default image dot scale dot set, this has to be scale, and luckily for us, default image, my shift really is not working very well. Luckily for us, the next couple lines are absolutely the same, except for I would like to create images for the bloody key and for the bloodier key. So I would like to have in the end 3 sprites that are placed that are on the same place, and I would like to make each one of them with alpha 0, the other one with alpha 1, and so on. You'll see that how that works a bit later. So did I copy that? Control V, and now I need to change this to bloody image, and Control V, Alt J 3 times, and then I can do bloodier image. Alright, and we are pretty much done with the constructor. Now I would like to have something in the update. Sorry? Oh yes, thank you. I was gonna forget that. So bloody key, and then in here I would like to say bloodier key. Okay. Right, so inside the I would like to have an update method in here, which is going to be this dot default image dot rotation plus equals 0.06, and copy that and in here you have to say bloody image, bloodier image. Okay, now that I think about it, it's probably best to leave this thing with the event at a bit of a later stage when we have collisions with it, because right now we don't have any, and it's going to be kind of boring to write all of this code without being able to test it. So yeah, I'll just leave that. I'll just leave the rest where you change the images and so on. I'll leave that for later time. So let me get back to what I wanted to write now. We've created the butcher. Okay. Now let's add bones and blood and sausages and burgers and so on, all of that in an emitter. So you've already seen the blood emitter here as a class, which used different class for its particles. But what we want to have is, as soon as the butcher dies, we want to throw blood and bones. As soon as a bird dies, we want to throw blood and feathers and different things. And all of these plus the souls will be inside the killer collection class that I just mentioned. And but first, I would like to make a normal emitter class, which is going to be suited to our needs for bones, for feathers and stuff like that. So let's do that here. It's going to be called emitter. Yeah, and let's start typing here. It's going to be very similar to the blood emitter class from last time. So module cow versus butcher. Is this too small? I think it is. Yeah. Export class emitter game phaser.game emitter phaser.particles.arcade.emitter constructor game phaser.game width gravity, which is also a number. We have keys. Why do I have different keys? Which is an array of string. That's a bit weird. But yeah, let's just leave it as is. Array of string. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know why that is. Yeah, let me copy the phaser reference. Emitter up here. Okay, inside here, this.game equals game. This.emitter equals this.game.add.emitter 0020. So yeah, again, these were X, Y, and max particles. Since these are going to be now sprites like bones, feathers, and so on, we wouldn't need that much as we needed with the blood. Okay, so we don't need that many images. So the maximum one will be like 20, and this then we want to say this dot emitter dot width equals width. This dot emitter dot gravity equals gravity. This dot emitter dot set alpha. The emitters in phaser have really cool options, something like this one, which sets a random alpha to every particle in your emitter between 1 and 0.5. I think we use that in the blood as well. This dot emitter dot min particle scale equals 0.2, and this dot emitter dot max particle scale equals 0.3. So they are going to be smaller than the images that I have, and they're going to be at random between 0.2 and 0.3. We can play around with these values if you want, but I found that it's better to make them small. They are still easily seen. And then this dot emitter dot make particles. And the thing is that this method takes an array of string. So this method make particles makes it so that you can combine different types of particles into the same emitter. So in this specific case, I have two types of bones. So let me show you those. The particles here are, okay, so bird, we have feather, we have blood. I'm not using that one, I decided to create one myself. We have bloody bone, we have bullet. I'm not using that one, I should probably add it at some stage. Burger, grenade, knife, and sausage. Okay, and the sausage and the burger are when the cow dies. It goes into a sausage-like state. Right, so where was I? I was in here. Yeah, so in this specific case, I can make an emitter with both the particles bone and bloody bone. Didn't I zoom this? I think I did. Anyway, so I can make an emitter with both the bloody bone and the standard bone, and it's going to pick at random which ones to show. So they are going to be different every time, and this is kind of cool. All right, so a couple of things here. Did I actually say enable physics on this, or I think I do that at some other stage? Okay, update. In here we would like to say this dot emitter dot for each alive. So I would like to fade them out as they're falling. So this is a method for that. So this dot emitter for each alive function. Actually, let's do it this way. Particle. I took this from the forum, this specific method. Particle.alpha equals particle.lifespan divided by this dot emitter lifespan. So we have to give the alpha as a percentage of something, and this is how we do it. What is the problem? Supplied parameters do not match any signature of the code target. This? Yeah, it's fine. So yeah, this is like this gives a percentage for the alpha of the particle, and at the beginning this is going to be very high, and as soon as the particle dies out because it has a lifespan, this is going to convert into the alpha of our sprite. Okay, then I need to have a start method as well. So this is going to be something like x number, y number, explode, boolean, lifespan number, quantity number. This dot emitter dot x equals x. This dot emitter dot y equals y. This dot emitter dot bounce dot set to 0.9 0.9. So this is gonna make the particles bounce from the ground, which looks actually quite cool. And after that, we want to say this dot emitter dot angular drag in combination with the previous one. I can show you what this one does. This dot emitter dot start explode lifespan 0 quantity and true. I think I mentioned this last time, but why would I want to have a separate class for something that's already in Phaser? I'm not adding anything like specific here. The reason is because I would like to have many elements which are exactly like this, with the same width, with the same particle scale, alphas, and so on. And instead of creating all of them this way, I wanted to create a class to make them automatically for me. All right. I guess we should have a break and then maybe write some more code, and that'll be it for today. Okay, I think that's it for the emitter. Did I add it here? I did not. So let's add it here, emitter. And I would like to create now a new folder, which is going to be called levels. And inside it we'll make our first class, which is going to be called killer collection. I could not think of a better name, and I think this one is really cool. And that's all that it is, like blood, bones, souls and stuff like that. So I think this is a pretty descriptive name for the class itself. So probably zoom in a bit more and add it to index.html, so somewhere around here. So this one is levels slash killer collection JS, and let's start typing. So actually there was a question and I did not answer it in the video. So the question was, in the soul, why do we have 3 images on top of each other when you know, we can just have one image and change the key to it as soon as something happens? Well, the reason is that it's gonna flash change, right? You're not gonna see any kind of transition, and I would like to have a transition from with the alphas from 0 to 1, depending on which image you have, and it looks a lot better. It's not that big of an effect because the transition, which is done with the tween, is relatively short, but it looks a lot better than, you know, just flash changing the images, and this is why we have 3. And of course, if you wanted to do something else, you know, just change from one image to another, then it would have been a lot simpler, but this way it looks a lot better. But I guess you will be able to see this next time. I'll make a note to finish this class next time at the beginning of the lecture. So where was I? I was in levels and killer collection. So in here, module cow versus butcher, I would have to be typing this quite a lot. Export class killer collection, and in here game phaser.game. Killer group is gonna be phaser.group. So everything inside this class will be within a group. Let me just add this real quick. Everything inside this class will be in a group, and it will be very easy. Once you want something to appear, something from this class to appear on top of something else, you will just have to say killer collection dot killer group bring to top, or a similar method of that, and then you'll be able to see everything, because, you know, all of the blood and the souls and so on, they are always on top of the screen. Alright, then we would like to have blood emitter, which is of type blood emitter. We would like to have bone emitter, of type emitter, and I would have to add those generate reference path. After that, feather emitter for our sweet little yellow bird emitter, and we also have sausage emitter for the cow, and burger emitter, which is also of type emitter. Constructor is very simple. Just this dot game. Game phaser game. I think I've mentioned this, but if you extend a class from phaser, it's gonna have its own reference to game. If you just write your own class, you should always have game as a property, and then put it in the constructor. There is no other way to access you know, methods from phaser if not for this. If here I type something like it extends phaser.state or image or sprite or whatever, then I already have a reference to game. I can make a global variable inside cow versus butcher static. I don't know if this is a good idea. I haven't tried this and I haven't seen anyone do it. It will work, probably. But the same way that I wanted to add... Actually, have you tried using static variables and so on inside TypeScript? It's fine. No? Yes or no?
Well, they are like in JavaScript there is no static.
Okay, in JavaScript there is no static. Yeah, I know, but still TypeScript, you know, gives you some errors and so on. So, for example, I think I got an error, and I'm not sure when I tried to create this method here as a static one inside cow versus butcher in here, so that I can access it very easily. I got an error. Something like a static element cannot appear inside a module element or something like that. So I'm not sure if you can do this, but yeah, I really wanted that to be fine. We can try. So something like static. Yeah, here I have game. Yeah. Anyways, I think you get an error because I think I've tried it in the last week or two, and it didn't work for me. If you can make it work, then let me know and I can show it. Right, so let me get back in here. So yeah, this.game equals game, and that'll be it. Now in the create, by the way, since we're not extending anything in here, I don't have to follow, you know, the same naming as with the states where we have preload and create, but I just decide to do that because it's gonna be much simpler in game to just say, you know, this dot killer collection dot create. You know, it's the same name. Okay, so let's go in here, create, and inside here I would first like to create my group. Killer group equals this.game.add.group. And do I have souls? No, I don't. I have to add them here. So soul collection array of soul, and I need a reference. And then I have first soul, which is of type soul, second soul, which is also of type soul, and third soul, which is of type soul. I think that's that. And inside here, this dot first soul equals new soul, this dot game default soul. Let me just remind you what we have here. We have default key, bloodier key, XY, scale, and group. So this is gonna be bloodier soul. This is gonna be no, sorry, this is bloody soul. This is bloodier soul. And this one is placed at 0, 140, scale is 0.4, and we add it to this dot killer group. And now the rest are very similar, so I'll just copy them with Control D. So this one is second soul, this one is third soul, and I just need to change, I think, one value here. So this is going to be this is the Y, so this is going to be 530, and this is going to be 320, and I need to change the scaling as well, so 0.5, 0.7. So the idea is to get something like these guys here. I think I've ordered them, I don't know why, but 1, 2, 3. I don't know, and it really doesn't matter that much. Anyways, right, the biggest one is at the middle. All right, then we have this dot so collection equals empty array, and this dot so collection dot push. Can I add Can I add multiple items here? Do you know? Let's try. I don't know. This dot first saw, this dot second saw. Actually, yes, you are correct. So this dot first saw, Control D, and this is gonna be second saw. This is gonna be third saw. All right, and now we start with the emitters. So this dot burger emitter equals new emitter. This dot game, comma 5 200 burger. This is the image key, and let's add the rest. So this dot sausage emitter equals new emitter. This dot game, comma 5 comma 200 sausage. This dot bone emitter equals new emitter. This dot game 500. What is this 500? This is gravity, so they are gonna fall slightly quicker. And we have bloody bone and bone. So here I combine both of them, and they are gonna be spawned at random. Okay, inside here we have, what else do we have? That's it. This dot feather emitter equals new emitter. This dot game 5 minus 1200, and this is done because I'm actually at a later stage. I'm gonna give gravity to my game, and I want to counter that so that the feathers are like flying and not that much taken by gravity. And this is gonna be feather. What else do I have? I have my blood emitter, of course. This dot blood emitter equals new blood emitter. This dot game 500, and that's that, I think. And now I need to add all of these to my group as well, like everything here that you see, which is kind of a nasty line of code, but anyways. So this dot killer group dot add multiple, and now I can add them in here, all of them. So I can say this dot blood emitter dot emitter. This dot, please be very careful what you add to your groups. You can normally add phaser objects which are displayed, something like sprites, images, buttons, particles, emitters, stuff like that. But if I add only the class itself, it's not gonna do anything because the class itself is not a display object. So feather emitter dot emitter. What else do I have? This dot bone emitter dot emitter. This dot sausage emitter dot emitter, and this dot burger emitter dot emitter. Am I missing something? Actually I am. This has to be in an array, like this. And am I missing something here? Do I have my... I have to add the source as well. Do I though? Probably I do, but I am not sure. Let's leave them out because I don't think they are gonna be hidden by anything at this point. But if I need to, I am just gonna add them to the group. Or maybe I add them to another group at a later stage, which is again always on top, the same with the butchers and so on. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't have them here, so I'm gonna leave them out. Sorry? Oh yeah, I put him here, inside the, yeah. I totally forgot about that. So I've already added them here, so I don't have to do that again. All right, and then in the update, we have a couple of things to do. It's going to be this dot saw collection, and the only reason why we have this array here is because I can use it inside the update instead of doing it for all of them. For each inside here an anonymous function, for each saw we would just like to have saw.update. It may have been easier to just update all of them, but you know, maybe at a later stage we want to do something with them, so I just put them in a in an array for this purpose. And now I have to take all of these and give them an update as well. So mode J, no, that's not gonna work. Oops, what is happening? So maybe this way. Control C.
Can't you do it through the group?
There is no point to do it through the group. The group is different from an array. The group is not used to like store items, more like define the order of which one is drawn. Yes, you can do that from the group, but there is no point to access it because it has a lot more things as properties and, you know, fields and stuff like that, rather than just, you know, just to keep reference to the values that I've added before. So yeah, I'll just do it this way. I can put them in an array, but I don't think this is what you want to see. So this dot update, and actually nope, OJ. The blood emitter doesn't have an update? Really? I guess not. Yeah, why would it? To be honest, we don't have physics in it and stuff like that, so yeah, I would assume that it doesn't have an update. Alright, so let's do a bit of testing then. So let's go into game. And how would we do that? So we don't need a preload method because we've already done all. I'm gonna leave this as is. And so how should we do it? So the game itself should have a reference, should have a killer collection, which is going to be of type killer collection, and I need a reference for that, please. What is... Did I do something? What's the problem? Generate reference path in comments. Now inside create, I would like to say this dot killer collection dot create, and I would like to do something like a test method. This dot game dot input dot on down. Okay, inside here. Just an anonymous function that I'll do in a second. And update in here, I would like to say this dot killer collection dot update. And let's see what to add here. So first of all, I would like to take the coordinates of the mouse and just try to put try to start our emitters at this specific point. So let's do var x equals this dot game dot input dot x, hopefully. Var y equals this dot game dot input dot y. And which one do you want to start? So let's start this dot killer collection dot blood emitter dot start at x and y. And what else do we have? Explode, true, lifespan, I think this was 800, quantity, let's say 50. We can add more later on. This dot killer collection dot bone emitter dot start xy true lifespan 800, and here we would like to spawn less, so like 6. And hopefully this is gonna work. If I'm not missing something, I have to give it a context, which is this. What is your problem? Cannot invoke an expression whose type lacks signature. That is weird. Is there anything else you want here? I don't know. I would try it because I have not. On down add, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Now it's fine. So yeah. Now if I click on play, we get an error. How convenient. Cannot read property create of undefined. Yes, of course. So I have to say this dot killer collection equals new killer collection dot of this dot game. And we have another error. Let's see what that is. Cow versus butcher dot so is not a function.
Indeed.
What is that? And the weird thing is, okay, so you should normally never ever get errors from the JS files. Okay, now it's better. So new so this dot game default so bloodier so this dot killer group. Okay, I'll listen to the person in the audience who seems to keep attention. Where do you want to go? Index.html. Do I have the killer collection? I do. I have the emitter, the butcher. I don't have the saw. Thank you very much. So this is gonna be graphic utils saw.js, and let's try that again. Okay, so there they are. The reason why they are drawn this way right now is because the last image that was drawn was the bloodier one. Now if I click, you see the bones and the blood. And if you can see, if I actually make the lifespan bigger, which happens from I guess from game lifespan, let's make it 2000 here, so that you can see slightly better. Do you want me to change the background to something else? Is it too white? I can add as many as we want. I cannot hold, right, because it's just on input, input on down. But we can test the other things as well. So let's command on these two. This dot killer collection. Let's do bone and feather. So this is gonna be xy true 2000 and maybe 5. Combine this with some blood. Dot start, thanks. Yep. If I give the, so right now, just to be able to see it, can I do this dot game dot state dot background? How's that? This dot game dot stage dot background color equals FFF F was black, right?
That's white.
This is white.
Zero.
Zeros. I can just give 3, I think. It's like they are going the other way, but once we add gravity to the game, actually I can try and do that now, but I would have to delete a lot of code. This dot game dot physics dot arcade dot start. No, I don't know how that was. Sorry? I don't know right now. Let's just go to killer collection and make this something like 0, and then I'll change that at a later stage. Right, so these are the feathers, and we can also test some burgers as well. So go to game, this dot killer collection dot sausage. Let's do that one first. Dot start xy true 2005. So this is gonna happen to the cow, pretty much, at some point. Sorry, yeah, without the feathers. And let me actually comment the feathers and this one as well, and this dot killer collection dot burger dot start xy true 2005, and that's gonna be something like this. Burgers spawning and so on. So right now we don't have ground here, but next time when we create the levels, you'll see that because of the way we've created the emitters, they are gonna bounce off as well, except for the blood. And the feathers have a very small gravity, so they'll die out before they manage to reach the ground. But especially with the bones, because this is what you will be seeing the most, they are jumping, and it's quite funny. Once you kill the butcher with a grenade, you spawn some bones and then jump on and off, and it's quite funny. So it looks something like not this. I didn't uncomment it, so. So yeah, it looks something like this, and they jump on and off, and it's quite funny. Right, so I guess this is where we'll end today, because for the levels there is some abstraction and so on. So next time, remind me to start with the souls. First, I think we need to finish those for you to see how they change from one state to another and so on. It'll be quite awesome, and I think it looks really cool. Right, so yeah, that was it, and I'll see you on Wednesday, next Wednesday. Yeah.